Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode from I Squared Leadership. Today I want to talk to you about teamwork and the power of teamwork. Now if you go around and ask anybody if teamwork is important, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get somebody saying, yep, absolutely, teamwork is critical and this is what we should be focusing on. Yet, how many of us honestly in our gut think that teamwork is something we should be striving for? You see, if you're like me, you probably had bad experiences in teams, especially when you were younger, when you were in middle school or high school. Teachers would ask you to be on teams and work collaboratively in a group. And for me, oftentimes, it would mean that I was just working very hard and everybody else was mooching off of me. I didn't like that feeling. I thought that that was unfair and therefore didn't seek to find my way on groups very often at all. As I've continued to go through the years, I've noticed that when it comes to teamwork, oftentimes what we find are loosely collaborative groups that are supposed to be working as teams, but usually they're highly competitive, highly critical of each other, or they're full of all kinds of hidden agendas. And ladies and gentlemen, that's not teamwork at all. But there's good reason why we think that way. You see, I think in America, we're not really taught teamwork. We don't honestly believe in this. Take a look at how we spend our time in entertainment. We love movies about the individual that overcomes all kinds of challenges. And you look at Sully and the pilot, how he was able to really save all the people on that plane. We take a look at Greatest Showman and how he really created this entire empire and this business based upon that. Or take a look at Rocky, Shawshank Redemption, Remember the Titans. I mean, movie after movie after movie are all about an individual that transformed a group or transformed a community or society or perhaps even a nation. And we love those movies because it's inspirational. It teaches us, especially as Americans, that, hey, if you're going to accomplish anything in life, you dang well better get started, right? It's up to you, right? If it's going to be, it's up to me. We've heard the phrase before. Well, I think this falls into what I call the Lone Ranger myth. And this is a myth that we can find supported in almost every avenue of American life. Take sports, for example. Think about the last time that you went to a sports game or competition. If you looked around a little bit, you probably saw high up in the rafters a bunch of banners. And not banners about the team, but banners about individuals. You see, we create Hall of Fames, and we retire people's jerseys, the individual jerseys. We don't celebrate team very often at all. So it's no wonder that as we grow up and as we start to get into business teams, we have this kind of sour taste in our mouth and really think it's not really about the team, it's more about me. Yet that is not how life really works. John Maxwell, my mentor, says that nothing of significance has ever occurred by a person acting alone. Even Steve Jobs will say great things in business are never done by one person acting alone. You see, these are people that have had the wisdom and understanding of what a true team actually is like. If you do your research, you'll recognize that anybody that has had significance in this world has been working together as a team. Bill Gates had Paul Allen. Mark Zuckerberg had Eduardo Saverin. Even Isaac Newton had Edmund Halley. Even the Lone Ranger himself had Tonto, okay? Nothing of significance has ever occurred by a person acting alone. Let me just share with you a story that really brings this point home. Here in the Midwest, there was a county fair, and we Midwesterners love our county fairs. 2 gentlemen were going up head-to-head in competition in a horse pull. You know the style where you've got a horse and a sled. They put weight on the sled to see how much weight the horse can pull. Well, they compete most of the day until they determine a winner. And the first place was able to pull 4,500 pounds. Place number 2 pulled 4,400 pounds. Now, as all things happen when it comes to Midwestern fairs, these 2 gentlemen find themselves at a bar. And they start giving each other a little bit of a hard time until an idea occurred to one of them. And he said to the other, "Hey, what do you think would happen if we put our 2 horses together? How much do you think we could be able to pull?" Well, they left the bar and went out to the track. They tied their 2 horses together, put a sled behind the 2 horses, and put on 9,000 pounds, the total of which each of the horses pulled separately and just a little bit more. Pulled it easily. Put on 10,000. Pulled it easily. 11,000, again, pulled easily. 12,000 pounds these 2 horses ended up pulling. That's an increase of 30%. And that's the power of teamwork. You see, 1 plus 1 actually equals 3. Again, 1 plus 1 can get you 3. Now, you also recognize that when you work in a very bad team, right, a very competitive, backbiting, negative, demeaning, unclear team, you also recognize the opposite is very true, that 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2. In fact, in this case, 1 plus 1 equals -1. So I find it very imperative for us to really think about how we can hone in and create collaboration within our teams. And I think there's some really important components to go into that, but if I broke it down to the very simplistic basis, there are 2 things that are more important than anything else in a team to create this 1 plus 1 equals 3 factor. Thing number 1, trust. There has to be solid, foundational, structured trust within a team. And number 2, transparency. We need to have the ability and the confidence to speak honestly, to express our opinions even if they might be contrary to the popular opinion, to be able to hold each other accountable, and to say really what we're thinking and what's on our minds. If we start with trust and transparency, we can get teamwork. And ladies and gentlemen, when we get teamwork, we can solve almost any problem or challenge that's in front of us. President Lyndon Johnson says, "There are no problems we cannot solve together, and very few that we can solve by ourselves." Thanks for watching today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.